Buddy's got the best timing, and so does Rudy. Timing is something that a lot of people get wrong. Hey, it's Gary with Natural Instinct Dog Training, and let's talk about timing. And Buddy's got the best timing, and so does Rudy. Timing is something that a lot of people get wrong. Well, hello, Rudy. They get wrong a lot of times. They don't understand how timing relates to our dogs. You know, we want to set a boundary, or we even want to give positive reinforcement by giving a treat for wanted behavior. There's an old saying that people will say that dogs are an in-the-moment animal and you have to catch them in the act. Now that doesn't matter if I'm catching them in the act of doing something wrong or if I'm catching them in the act of doing something right. The timing of that is crucial. The saying that says you have to catch them in the act, you know, it almost implies that our dogs don't remember what they did. And we all know that dogs have great memories. They have amazing retention. That's how we can teach them to sit, teach them to be off leash, teach them tricks, fetch, service dog work, anything like that. Obviously, they have great memories. The reality is, our window of opportunity is solely based on whatever they're thinking at the moment we get involved in the conversation. So whether that's we're rewarding them for something they're doing right, or whether that's us setting a boundary for, you could say, something they're doing wrong. The timing defines what they're going to learn from that experience. So the way timing works, you know, it's like we're having a conversation with someone who doesn't speak our language, because our dogs can learn certain words and phrases, but they don't speak the language. The way they know language is more through association. So we might learn the word for coffee or bathrooms or something like that in a different country or a different language, but it doesn't mean we speak the language fluently. We just understand certain words through association. So if we were trying to tell someone that was staying at our house that didn't speak the same language to stay out of our pantry. Now, we can't put up signs, we can't put up barricades. How are we going to teach those people not to get into our pantry? Well, the way we would do it is anytime they were showing interest in the pantry, if they were reaching for it, opening the door, whatever, we would get involved. We might use some type of word, we might wave our hands around, we might get in between them and the pantry. When they reach for the pantry, we might hold up food on the other side of the kitchen, and they're like, ooh, okay, I was going to the pantry to get food, but here's the food over here. We created a different association based on what they were thinking in the moment that they were thinking it. And this is where it's key. So if we had a sandwich on the table and we wanted to teach our dogs not to steal our sandwich off the table, I know as soon as the dog focuses on that sandwich, I'm going to get involved. Some people wait until the dogs might go for the sandwich. Most people don't say anything until the dogs actually have that sandwich in their mouth. The problem is that's 3 separate conversations. We're not having the same conversation with our dog depending on the time that we get involved. So when the dog looks at the sandwich, and there's a difference between looking and staring. We were all taught as kids, don't stare at people. So looking at the sandwich, they just glance at it, look away. There's not a lot to talk about. But if you see them, focus on the sandwich, they're staring. So as soon as you see them staring at the sandwich, if you get involved in the conversation, you are now teaching that dog they cannot have food on the counter. If you wait until the dogs are going for the sandwich, all you're really teaching them is maybe don't let me see you. But if you wait till the dog has the sandwich, has the cushion on your couch, has the TV remote, whatever it is, all you're really telling that dog is drop it or swallow it. They're gonna continue that behavior forever. If you have a dog that's jumping up on you, if you wait until the dog jumps on you, they're gonna keep jumping, or you might end up with that dog that bounces around in front of people when they come over, but they don't actually make contact. If this is the person and the dog's thinking about jumping, jumped, looking at the sandwich, going for the sandwich, has the sandwich. It feels weird, doesn't it? It feels like that I'm saying maybe we should correct our dogs before they've actually done anything wrong. But that's really not what we're doing. This is a time of where the thought is in the dog's mind. So just like when we were kids, if our parents made cookies and we looked in the kitchen, we would get that traditional ahem. They were interrupting us. Now, if our parents looked in the kitchen and we were stuffing our face full of cookies, they would correct us. The interruption teaches us to think before we act, ask permission. The only thing a correction taught me was if there's cookies in the kitchen, get in and get out before you get caught. And I was probably pretty good at that. So maybe that's why I learned the importance of timing. You got to get in there early. It is not a punishment. Interrupting the dogs isn't punishing them. They smelled food. We interrupted where the thought went because they smell the food and it basically goes in through the nose and up to the brain, and the brain says, I smell food, eat it. If when the smell goes up to the brain and then the dog goes, remember I'm not supposed to do that. All we did is we interrupted the flow of that thought. Timing is all about getting in the conversation early. As soon as we know there's a conversation, the dog has an intended thought, and we interrupt that thought, we're getting in early and we're teaching our dogs good manners, we're teaching the proper timing, and we're teaching them to ask permission, just like we did when we were kids. We had good manners. And I want dogs that have good manners, not because they're subservient to us, but I want people to enjoy coming over to our houses. I want us to enjoy taking our dogs on walks. When our dogs know how to be polite, it's a lot nicer for us to take them places and do fun things with them. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps a lot of you. Please like, follow, and share our videos. The reason why I make these is I want to get as many people out there help that I can, and by sharing these videos, we can all do that together. Thank you, and I will talk to you all really soon.